Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to our information session on our manufacturing, technology, privacy, and security cluster here at Roger Williams University College, Providence campus. Our agenda for this evening will be as follows. We're going to do a little bit of a welcome and introductions, as well as some general admissions information. And then we'll have a chance to have a Q&A with Sam Carroll, who is the program chair for manufacturing, technology, privacy, and securities. And then at the end, there'll be time for additional questions and or comments. So again, welcome. My name is Jana O'Connell, and I work as admissions pathway specialist here at University College. I assist students throughout the inquiry, application, and registration phase of the process. I also act as a liaison between other offices. If you need to get in touch with financial aid or see that that happens, the bursar's office, I can help you with that as well. This evening, as I mentioned, we are joined by Sam Carroll, who is the program director for the cluster. Sam, would you please share with us a bit about your background and experience in the field?
Yeah, sorry. As soon as I unmute it, I apologize. My name's Samuel Carroll, so I'm the Director of Manufacturing, Technology, Privacy, and Security Programs at Roger Williams University College. I've been fortunate to do this for about the last year. I'm also an ocean engineer at the Naval Undersea Warfare Center, Newark, located in Newport, Rhode Island. Now, Newark is one of a handful of premier laboratories that provide really full spectrum development and technical support to the United States Navy. They rely on a civilian workforce with a long-term knowledge of undersea warfare specific systems. And as a digital workforce or digital workplace, Newark incorporates a posture of cyber survivability throughout the organization. And this is really cybersecurity in practice in the real world. I've been at Newark about 18 years. I utilized degrees in psychology, ocean engineering, and science and technology leadership to direct a small team of scientists, engineers, and mathematicians who conduct modeling and simulation and really performance assessment of undersea vehicles. And as I mentioned, for this about this last year, I've been very fortunate to be connected with University College, with the cybersecurity and networking program, as well as the technology leadership management program, both through the University College in Providence. First, a bit about cybersecurity and networking. This program has been designed by industry experts. It's really, it's taught in collaboration with some of the people who've been on cybersecurity education from the very beginning, and they keep it cutting edge with a high demand in the industry for cybersecurity specialists. The courses in the program of cybersecurity and networking cover technology security and networking skills combined with a specialized focus in areas like digital forensics and audits. But these are all taught through hands-on study in their forensics networking lab and online through a lot of interactive tutorials and videos. You'll learn how to solve issues like hacking, cyber attacks, internal threats for any organization. The program itself is a Bachelor of Science degree. We are working through University College to create an Associate of Science degree, so that would be about the halfway mark. Associates in Science is about 60 credits, where the Bachelor's in Science is 120 credits. Currently, the curriculum is about 90% all online. There are 3 computer science classes that are currently moving to online. So a year from now, or even 6 months from now, the program might be entirely online. But right now, those computer science courses that are required for graduation are currently taught on site at Roger Williams. That being said, the program is very receptive to receiving transfer credits for these classes because we know students come from a lot of different lifestyles and backgrounds, and being on site in Bristol is not necessarily an option for most of our students. Switching over to technology leadership and management, it's currently a BGS degree, which is a Bachelor in General Studies. The programmatic leadership and the professors, as well as our dean, feel that this would be better serving the community if we move this to a Bachelor of Science degree, similar to the cybersecurity degree. It's typically for students who get kind of corporate or business sponsorship. So they have degrees in maybe business engineering, or they're technicians in engineering, and their companies reimburse them. That being said, it's open to anybody. The concentration in TLM, Technology Leadership Management, it's designed for people coming from a technical or a managerial background who are employed in manufacturing, service, or technology and interested in taking on a leadership role, really amplifying their impact. So the cybersecurity and networking and the technology and leadership management degrees are probably the two primary focus areas for manufacturing technology, privacy, and security programs at Roger Williams. There are other programs, but I think those are the ones that Jana wanted to focus on this evening. Over to you.
Thanks, Sam. You actually answered a lot of the questions I had in what you were talking about, but just to clarify a few things, actually, that would be good. And then I'll jump back to some general admissions things that you touched upon as well. So for students in the TLM that want to do the TLM, you had mentioned some jobs that were, could you just reiterate a few specific jobs that might be for technology leadership and management careers, and maybe the median salary for that?
Sure. Well, it's an interesting salary range, right? Because, okay, I'm not muted. Yeah, it's an interesting salary range because it is a leadership job. So the range in salaries can be anywhere from $50,000 to $120,000 for a leader in technology. So at the high end, you're obviously talking about somebody who could have perhaps a PhD in engineering or a master's degree in engineering, or a medical doctor who wants to go back for technology leadership and management. So they want to hone their leadership skills. So they have the technical skills to do the job, but they want to run a business, or they want to run a small startup, or they want to teach, younger engineers and scientists to be leaders. So that would be the high end. And then at the middle end, you have, working level managers who perhaps have business degrees, and now they're going to be working in a technology or manufacturing field. So this will give them an opportunity to be a little bit more technically competent as a manager, so that they can speak the language of technology to the folks that they supervise. And then we get technicians. We get plenty of technicians who are subject matter experts in engineering technology or electronics technicians. Those folks are maybe the shop steward or the shop lead. They're leading other technicians. And this TLM curriculum gives them an opportunity to kind of look at big picture stuff, to learn about the Toyota production system, which is not commonly taught in schools, but is very commonly talked about in management or technology leadership forums. So I hope that helps for TLM.
Yeah, so it sounds like this program is really good, whether you have, you're coming, at a high, whether you have a technical background, associate's degree, you don't necessarily have to have a bachelor's degree coming into this, because this is a bachelor's. It's about what you have for background.
Absolutely correct.
And then for the cybersecurity program, that as well, are there any prerequisites that you need to enter into that program? And what are some specific jobs and median salaries for that as well?
Well, the requirements are really just a desire to work with technology and an interest in privacy and security having to do with the digital domain. There is a basic statistics requirement. It's really the only math class for the entire program, but it is a requirement. And some folks find that If they take a statistics class on their own before getting into the program, it gives them the benefit of some experience, because statistics can be a hard class for many people. The BS program really builds you up from the ground floor all the way to the top. So you can come in with no prerequisites, just a high school diploma or a GED or equivalency, and start taking courses towards your BS degree. The median salary for cyber, again, it's a very wide range. And it's interesting, if you look for careers, you're going to find things like cyber analyst, information security engineer, cyber security, cyber technologist. It's all basically the same job. And the range in those jobs, the salaries go from about $62,000 a year upwards of $120,000 or even higher. I mean, the demand for cyber is quadrupling in the next couple of years. And over the next 10 years, it'll be 10 times that. We are entering the digital domain. So really any company requires cyber survivability and cyber security and endpoint protection. So the salaries are so varied because many people now are getting to cyber after already having a career. For example, there are many lawyers who've gone back and gotten cyber certificates or cyber degrees. Many engineers who've gone back and gotten cyber degrees. Law enforcement have gone back and gotten cyber degrees. And then young people, new grads coming out, who've done the purely cybersecurity networking track that we have at Roger Williams University. So you get a huge range. And the demand signal comes from a lot of different places. Some pay much better than others. I mean, private industry pays the best, right? But
Right.
civil service maybe provides you job security, but you might start at the low end near the 60s or the $70,000 a year mark, although you're guaranteed other advantages working for the state, city, or federal government. So it's really up to the person graduating. The key thing I would say is just, get the best possible grades you can get as much sleep as you can get, and then take care of your personal life at the same time. I don't know. Does that help, Gina?
No, that's great. Another question we actually formally get asked is job placement. Do we, so what do we do? Do we place our students in jobs after they graduate? Do we help them find jobs? Is there a process for that? Or what do you find with students coming out of these two programs in terms of finding a job?
Well, I would say direct placement, we don't do at this point. I think that's ultimately the goal. We don't have any kind of MOAs or MOUs with any companies where we have a direct hire type of thing right after graduation. I mean, that would be nice, and we're certainly going to explore that over the next couple of years. But we do have internships that we require one internship, and that's usually an opportunity for a senior or a junior student in cybersecurity and networking to get to know a company or an industry and try it out. They get to try them out. We have some partnerships. We're always looking to make more partnerships. In terms of employment after work, the key thing I think is to get a GPA that's, as high as possible. The BS degree from Roger Williams will definitely open some doors. One of our graduates who just finished last May, over the summer, he had 3 interviews and 3 job offers and really just decided which one best suit him. So I don't think getting a job in cybersecurity or technology or privacy programs is going to be the difficult thing. I think getting through the program is the hard part, and we're working to maybe make it a little more seamless in terms of getting a job directly from graduation, but we're not there yet.
Well, we also, one thing also is our academics, I should mention as well, is a lot of our professors are currently working in the field. So I would assume that would help somewhat with networking.
Absolutely. It also, I think, helps on the interview, frankly. And that is feedback. Thank you for helping me remember that. That is feedback I've gotten from a couple of seniors, because they felt like their coursework was real. It was relevant. It was current. It's not been on the shelf for 10 years. I mean, the program has been around for a while, but the professors are constantly reinventing it to keep up with the latest trends in cyber and the latest challenges, to cybersecurity. It's a rapidly evolving thing. So most of the students, when they're seniors, really feel like they are coming in at the cutting edge, and so have high confidence when they go into the interview.
Great. And another question I actually have, it's backing up a little bit. We talked about the bachelor's degrees and the associates in the cyber and the TLM. We also offer some certificates that give some credentialing. Can you just mention maybe one or two of the certificates that we offer that might help someone who maybe doesn't need a full degree or just wants to skill up a little bit, how that might be helpful for them? Maybe the OSHA and the maybe one of the cyber security ones.
Well, I know for cyber, what we're working towards is getting an associate's degree, and that'll help somebody who, frankly needs to work right away. They'll get a well-paying job, and then can work at getting a bachelor's later on if they even decide that they need one. The reality in cyber is that the demand is so high. We're trying to maximize how we provide our students, the training so they can take advantage of it. And frankly, that's been the bachelor's of science degree has been kind of the cutoff, but that's changed. The last couple of years, that's changed. And so we're looking to reimagine the cybersecurity and technology program to make an associate's degree more accessible for folks so they can begin to work in the cyber field. This is particularly relevant for people that work at large companies that already have established. We have many students who work in large companies who have established a cyber branch or a cyber division or a cyber section, and they can move laterally as soon as they get a certification like an associate's degree. And that'll be the beginning of really a whole new job for them within their large companies. We've seen that. I've seen that with a couple of students already. So what they'll do is they'll move from being an engineering technician or a technician or an administrative assistant, get an associate's degree or get the credits that are equivalent to an associate's degree in cyber, transfer laterally within their job. So now that they're still working at the same place, they retain all their seniority and benefits, but their job has changed and it's more relevant to cyber. Then they're able to secure funding through their employer to complete or work towards to completion of a bachelor's of science degree. So that takes a special kind of student, there's no doubt. I mean, they've got to be driven to do that kind of thing, but we do support that type of student. I hope that helps, Jana.
No, that's great. And just one more question that I have for you is, a lot of students are asking, so this class is coming this fall, and with the whole COVID and social distancing, are the cyber or TLM classes changing much, or are they being able to be offered in the formats we've always offered them?
Well, we've been very fortunate, Jana, at University College, because I think the plan to do online education at University College is probably close to 10 years old. I mean,
yes,
University College has been working with students who are kind of quote unquote non-traditional learners. They maybe have to go to school at night or weekends or different times of the day, or maybe look at a lecture later on in time. So, I mean, as disrupting as COVID is and as an unprecedented time it is, University College and Roger Williams are really poised to help students because, as I said, the cybersecurity BS, it's about 120, I want to say 120, 122 credits.
right.
And of that 122 credits, there's 11 credits that are not currently offered online. And frankly, in the fall, because of COVID, now they've changed 2 of those courses. So I believe there's only 4 credits in the entire Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity and Networking that are not online, fully online offerings. And part of that is because of COVID. Those 11 credits were computer science classes that I mentioned before. They've traditionally always been taught in Bristol, but I think the university is trying to make a switch. But University College itself has always been ahead of the game there. So TLM is no different. TLM started, let's see if I can remember how long ago that was. It's probably, I don't know, 12 years old. I would just be guessing, maybe 15. But initially it was taught primarily on site down in Providence, or actually the professors would go to the company and teach on site at the company in a conference room. Now, most of the courses are being offered online or on site at the corporate, the corporate locations that require it. So I think, COVID has really illustrated how much University College was ahead of its time way back when.
Right. And honestly, we do have a lot of military students that take some of these programs, and they do require that they be completely online. And so there are some of those classes that they've found ways to help them complete the class without being face-to-face in person. I know they've Zoomed them live and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have, I think, two, but I know at least one liaison for the military, Morgana Beltry. She is a liaison for the military and helps set up all the funding specifically for veterans or people in active duty. So I think we work with those folks in UC quite well, and we have a good history with them.
No, thanks. That's actually all the questions I had for you as far as about the programs and the things they have to offer. I just want to go take it back quickly to the admissions process, because if people are interested in applying to any of the programs within this cluster, just let you know that here at UC, we pride ourselves in really trying to streamline the admissions process as much as possible for our applicants. We try to break down the barriers to applying. We don't require specific testing or SATs or things like that. We also work to maximize your learning experience and college credits to apply it to your degree plan. So what that means is we'll take up to 45 credits toward the 60 credit associates and 90 credits towards your bachelor's degree. And we do this by looking at any college credits you have. We also look at joint service transcripts. And we also look at if you believe you have life experience, if you believed, as Sam mentioned, that you've been doing cyber within your workplace and you've been doing some of these things, or maybe you've been doing some of the core courses, like you do a lot of speaking in your job. We have someone, Dr. Amy Shelton, who works with prior learning, and she can help evaluate some experiences you've had, any certificates you've earned through your job, to see how that might apply to your degree as well. So if you are interested in applying, the steps are really easy. We have a 5 to 10 minute online application. And then we require your official high school or joint services transcript and any college transcripts. And that's about it. Prior to those official transcripts coming in, you just simply can upload unofficial transcripts, and Sam and I can work together to create a degree plan for you to show you what exactly would come in, where we can bring it in, and what you would still need to do to complete that process. And then after that, if you had questions about financial aid or how to do any of those, we're welcome to help you with that as well. So if you do have additional questions, or if you're interested in applying, here is our contact information. I have my contact information if you have questions about how to actually apply to a specific program. If you want further information about a particular program or about what might be included in the class, I know Sam touched upon the types of activities you have, but he would also be someone to reach out to as well. And I'd like to thank everyone for coming this evening. I hope you've got answers to most of your questions. And if not, like I said, please feel free to use our contact information and to reach out. And have a good evening.